Hello my loves and welcome back. And if you're new here, then thank you for joining me. Today we're going to look at 8 yoga poses that you can do to help improve your balance. And we're going to progress these from using the chair to coming into freestanding. So you get to decide where you are in your practice. These are in no particular order, but there's some great poses that you can practice to help improve your balance. So the first pose that we're going to do is going to be a lunge. So we're going to take the chair in front of us. It can also be to the side. And if you're using the chair, make sure that your chairs are on a non-slip surface. Don't have them on a slippy floor where they're going to move away from you. Have them on a non-slip surface. Take one foot, nice, a big foot step back, lift the heel, bend the front knee. You can use your chair here. This is how you would kind of prepare for your lunge, and you can sink as low as you feel that you can in your lunge, keeping that front knee behind the toes here, torso is lifted, and then you can play with one arm lifting, and if that feels comfortable, maybe both arms reach forward, and then you can still grab a hold of the chair if you need to, or you can progress to reaching the arms up. The wider apart you have your feet here, front to back, the more of a challenge that it is going to be. A second pose is going to be Parangustar, and we're going to do a variation on Parangustar. We're going to keep everything kind of front on here. So chair by the side here, and you're going to need to move it from side to side because this is a single leg pose. So ground one foot, the foot nearest your chair, onto the floor, and then lift your other leg up. Now this leg, it's not kind of floppy, it's active. So flex the foot, push down through the foot that's grounded through the floor, feel the crown of the head reaching up. And again, you can hold on to your chair here. It could also be a wall, it doesn't have to be a chair. Keep everything here, foot, hips, shoulders, head, lengthened, and then see if you can extend the arm away. You can also take one hand to support this lifted leg if it feels a little bit of a challenge to lift the leg up. There are also variations here, opening the leg out. And again, like I said, make sure that you do both sides so that you have some symmetry in your poses. So the next pose is a balancing star. So we think about a nice wide stance here, and then we're just gonna push off onto one leg. Now that can be a little challenging if you're not used to yoga. So let's have the chair to one side here. Make sure that it's enough that you're kind of reaching towards it. Lean over, come onto the tiptoes on your opposite foot, and then just lift. You can stay here and just extend the opposite arm to your chair. Have your chair for balance and support should you need it, and then you can work on extending the arms. Again, you're doing both sides. And another way that you can do this is to take the chair here in front, take the feet kind of wide here, and then just work on your balance here. And that way you can bring the hands down in between, switch sides without having to move your chair. Options. Now, one of the most common balance poses in yoga is of course tree pose. So again, your chair for support, the foot nearest the chair, that is your leg of support and stability. Other leg bends, bring the heel to the opposite ankle, knee turns open and out. It doesn't have to come all the way out. You can see my other video for tree pose right here. And then you can work on either lifting the foot up towards the calf or up and in towards the groin. If you're doing tree pose as your balance pose, work on your balance first here without the chair. Don't come straight up with the foot into the groin and expect to find your balance. You need to find it here first, then here, and then here. And again, you're going to repeat everything on this side. Okay, so now we're getting into a little bit more of a tricky pose, into Warrior 3. Now for Warrior 3, I like to turn my chair this way, but you get to decide. You can do it here and have your Warrior 3 here. So this can be Warrior 3 with just the leg extended, long line from the head to the hips to the back foot. These two things move together. So if the foot doesn't lift all the way up, don't think that this is the same thing. And again, I've got a full video about Warrior 3 here. My preferred way of doing Warrior 3 is to come in from this direction. And then you can bring the hands to the chair, lift one leg out and up, take the other arm on top, and play with it here. And you can work on lifting opposite arms or both. Again, still Warrior 3, still Warrior 3. It doesn't have to come completely parallel to the floor. Make sure again you're doing both legs. Okay, so this one, a little bit, again, challenging. And this one doesn't seem that challenging until you start to hold the pose, and then you realize what a challenge it really is. It can be a chair, it can be a wall for support, whatever you have nearby. Feet hip distance apart, a little wider is going to be slightly easier. Closer together, the harder it's going to be. Feet grounded into the floor, lengthen up, root and rise, hold on to your support, and then lift your heels up. Can you come up onto your tiptoes? Now for this one, you don't need to change the chair to each side because you've got both feet planted to the floor. But can you let the hands float free? And if that feels okay, can you lift? Can you float? Can you reach? And if reaching feels okay, then start to move the arms a little here. So in a similar vein to Warrior 3, there is Dancer's Pose. There's a couple of ways of doing it, depending on your body. And again, maybe you take a wall for a bit more sturdy support. You can use a strap if your foot doesn't come all the way up to your hands, or you can just reach. But the idea here is that you're kind of a little bit away from your chair, a little distance here. You bend one knee, other foot rooted down into the floor, and if you can grab a hold of the foot, then great. If not, that's fine too. And then you draw the knee back. Keep drawing back as much as you can, creating a little loop between your hand, your foot, and here. And then from that loop, reach back. Chest moving forward, legs reaching back. Options here. Quite often what happens with this pose, if we reach the same side, right hand, right foot, it can kind of rotate a little bit. So my suggestion is that you try it here, same side, same foot. How does that feel? Play with your balance. Maybe you float the arms, try both sides, and then play with the opposites so that your right foot comes back but your left hand grabs a hold, because that will stop your rotation of your trunk. You can do the same thing, and it might be a little more challenging to find your balance holding the opposite foot to hand. All right, finally we have standing pigeon. We've reached number 8. So chair or wall. Root through the opposite foot to the chair just so that you have some leverage here. Bend the knee closest to the chair, bring the foot to the opposite side so that you create a little figure 4 here. And then the standing leg, you're going to sit. You're going to bend. You want the butt to sit back, the chest to stay a little lifted here, and then can you lift away? You can also do this facing your chair if that feels a little comfier. I've done it that way too with my class participants. That might feel fine. So it's quite easy in this seated standing pigeon to put a lot of the weight on the chair. So make sure that you're not leaning over, crown of the head lifted. And again, just play with the opposite arm first, hand position here. How does that feel? And then practice lifting. Keep your arm out so that if you need to, you can put that down, because this is a little challenging now. The legs are kind of stuck together. And if you feel like you're gonna fall and you can't reach the chair, bring the other foot down to the floor. Please don't fall over. All right, my friends, I hope that helped give you some insights into how you can use these 8 yoga poses to improve your balance from using the chair to freestanding. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did and you found it useful, then give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And remember, my loves, that karma is only a bitch if you are. So be nice, be kind, and be the change that you want to see in the world.